Hey there, everyone. So, welcome back to another episode of Go Lessons. This is going to be our second installment or second episode in this series. And so, I'm really enjoying this series. I don't know about you guys, but it is really nice to kind of review over what I have learned over the last, year and a half. And I'm hoping that these lessons are really giving you guys a confidence boost. Not only that, but just a more clear understanding of the game itself. It is a big learning curve when you're just starting. Rules are very simple, but it's really hard to kind of get an idea of what you're doing until you start actually playing. And as you play, hopefully you have the guidance needed, and then you can start improving really drastically. So sorry. All right. We are going to do our second episode. And the idea, again, on the first episode was the liberty. Don't care if you're winning or losing. And I'm hoping that as of right now, that you guys had some practice over the week. Again, these episodes are releasing once every week. I don't know what day it's been scheduled yet, at least at the time of this recording, but I do plan to do this once a week for you guys. And so, again, we're going to do versus computer. And let me move my face really quickly so you guys can see the difficulty is set to 5Q. Again, we're not really caring if it's a 5Q or not. What we're really caring about is understanding the fundamentals. Win or loss doesn't matter, but we're going to understand fundamentals. Okay. And so again, I'm going to play commentary room just because it gives me the already set grid lines. And so, especially with the 9x9, it gets a little difficult when we're talking about it because we don't know which way we're looking at it. So this is already set. All right. So today's lesson. If last week was liberties, I want to say that today's lesson is understanding where your groups are. That's probably the next thing. Okay. You have an idea of what your liberties are. You know how to connect your groups. Now it's understanding what is a group and what isn't a group. And I think from there, that's a good start. So we're going to start again. We're just going to start here. And then now I'm going to be a little bit more bold. I am going to start expanding. And again, let's go over the main objective of the game. Of any type of game in Go, whether you're working on a 9x9 board, 13x13, or a 19x19 board. Now, when we're looking at the board, we're counting the intersections, not the squares. So on a chess board, I believe it's an 8x8, where we're counting the squares itself. On a Go board, it is the intersections that we play on, not the open squares. And the idea of the actual board itself is, or the goal of the game itself is to obtain the highest amount of territories and captures in relation to your opponent. So if the board, say for instance, if the board was split into 100 intersections, your goal is to get 51 out of the 100. Because if you can get 51 out of the 100 intersections / points, you win the game by majority. Okay, so the idea is get majority of the board and points. Now, how do we count that? Well, first, let's draw our border out. Okay, and then we can start counting. While we're doing that, we're going to pay attention to which one are our groups, or as we're doing it, we're going to pay attention to our groups. So, again, I'm going to play as if you had a couple games on your belt already, maybe 10 9x9 games or even 5 9x9 games, but you should have an idea of the momentum of the game now. So I'm going to do one space jumps here. Okay. And again, I'm just playing as if I had some experience. I know that, I'm looking at it and we are doing stuff. Okay. All right. Now let's take a look at our position right now. Well, let me play a couple more moves first. So I want to play this corner over here. Okay. I want to play in this corner over here. Okay. I want to protect my Atari. I don't want him to Atari this direction. Okay. And I'm going to push. Okay. And then I'm going to connect right here. Ataring maybe next turn. And then I'm going to do this. Okay. So we're done here. Okay. I'm gonna talk to you guys during this moment right now. So let's see. Again, the whole concept of today's video is, do we understand how many groups we have versus how many groups our opponents has? Okay. And by group, I'm talking about, can we see, are the stones connected to each other in a very close manner, close proximity? And so if we take a look at this top group right here, we can see that we have two stones here, we have one stone here, and we have two stones here. Now, are these groups connected? Well, in my opinion, a group that is connected is a group that only takes one more move to be completely solid all the way around, for the most part. So if I take a look at this group right here, is this solid all the way around? If I spend an additional move, is this solid? Well, if you take a look, if I played right here at F7, then these two stones are connected to this one stone. So this right here, it would be considered a solid group. It's very hard to split a group like this, albeit this is a very simplistic example. Okay, there are cases, there are circumstances, but for now, just to get the fundamentals down, usually if you're able to put a stone in here and it's connected directly and they share liberties, that's a group. How about these two stones with this one stone? Well, if I put it right here, this is also a group. We can connect it straight away. Now, pretend that the G7 stone was not here, and I place a stone right here to try to connect the two black groups right here. Is this completely connected? Well, they're not directly connected right now. Okay. Again, I'll play it on the board in the review, but just have the thought right now. Okay. Well, I know if I play at F7, this is a solid group. And I know if I play at G6, these two are a solid group. So if I want, I can play one more move to connect the two groups together to form one bigger group. And how do I do that? Well, again, look at your shapes. Last time we talked about the tiger's mouth. Is there a way I can make that here? Well, I can do it in this direction, play at F8, and look, there's a tiger's mouth. But does playing at F8 connect these two stones with this group? Sort of, but not really. Okay, what about at H6? Again, H6 is really far away from these two stones over here. We're forming a tiger's mouth, but it's mainly connecting these the G7 stone with these two stones. It's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. Now, what about the F6 position right here? Ooh, I like that. Why is that? Well, if I played at the F6, let's play it. You can see that we have a tiger's mouth on top. G7, F6, and then E7. That's a tiger's mouth. You can also see that with this one move, we also made a second tiger's mouth right here, right? At the G7, F6, G5 position. This is a double tiger's mouth shape. And this is an incredibly strong position, which connects all the group together. So this right here, black right here, has one solid group. This is one group. Okay. Now, if we take a look right here, is this group, is black's second group connected to black's first group? Because if they are, in one move, if they are, then we can consider that these are what they're together as one big group. Well, not really, right? This is separated by the white stones. This is separated by these white stones. So these is what we call two black groups. We have two groups. In black's case, we have two groups. Okay, so we got that down. Those are two groups. Now, what about white? Well, in one move, can white connect all of its stones? Well, again, I see two stones here. I see one stone here, right? I see two stones here. I see one stone here. I see three stones and three stones. Well, the question is, are these three stones connected? Yes. How? They all form a tiger's mouth. So this right here is one massive group. You guys see that? this right here is one massive group. The only way that I can split this group apart is if I play in the tiger's mouth itself. Then I can split the 3 apart from each other. Okay. But as of right now, the way that it looks like they're one massive group. That means, what about this single stone, and these 2 stones? Are these connected? Well, again, if white plays here in one move, it connects this stone at F4 with these 2 stones. And if you can see, the white move at E4 also forms that tiger's mouth shape. So it connected 4 out of the 6 stones needed with the rest of the other stones. So it looks to be that white has a massive group. Now, is there another move that we could connect all of it? Well, if you take a look right here, the F3 position, right? We have a tiger's mouth connecting the 2 bottom group right here. And we have this tiger's mouth connecting the 3 groups here, which is connected to the 2 bottom groups. So one move at F3 connects all of white. So because we were able to connect all of white in one move, this is one big group, solid group. So now, why is this important to know? Because in the game of Go, it is the idea that you are at war. Okay, you are making conversations, whatever you want to call it. You're at war. And your objective is to make sure that 1, you have the most territory points on the board, and 2, you defend your territory points on the board. Okay? White has only one group that it needs to defend. So if it only needs to defend one group, it's going to have a much easier time. Versus black has 2 groups that it needs to defend on. Now we got to focus on 2 groups instead of one massive group. So it's really hard to defend on 2 fronts. This is why we never go to war when we're battling on 2 fronts or 2 sides. Okay? So if you guys are historians of historians of history, I don't know what to call it. If you guys are historians, you'll know that you'll never want to fight a war on 2 fronts. Don't fight it from the front and don't fight it from behind, because if you get flanked from the behind, you're not going to pay attention to your front. Anyways, so the idea is have less groups than your opponents, and you should have a much better time defending everything. Okay, so I'm going to continue on with the game. Again, we're just going to finalize the game here. Okay, I'm going to play here just for funsies. Okay, we're going to go here. Excuse me. Okay. Again, I'm just playing very solidly. I'm keeping an eye on my liberties here. And again, we'll talk more about tactics later on. You guys don't have to. But what we are doing right now is we are trying to figure out essentially what we can be doing. Okay. Okay.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. 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 So, again, because I was paddling on 2 fronts, or now 3 fronts, I couldn't defend my group very well. Okay. So now we're going to pass.
Pass. Pass.
Okay. And then the game ends and white wins by 5.5. All right. So let's review the game. Okay. So the idea is, again, keep an eye on how many groups you have and then try to defend it. Now, I did a very meaningful demonstration in this one where I tried to defend my group and I lost it. And this happens all the time. And it's okay. Like I said, when you guys are just starting, it's not going to be easy. So what is happening? Well, right now I am making a bigger group. Now, I could make a group by doing this. Okay, so say that white plays here and I do this. You could do this. Okay, we could easily do this, do one stone at a time. But we want to be able to kind of be a little bit quicker on the board. We don't want to take these super slow steps, right? When our opponent is hopping around all over the board. And like I said, if they're able to play one stone, right? Look at how much more territory we're able to take with 4 stones versus this. Okay. So the key is, if you understand groups and you understand that within one stone, it's a very strong group, then we can hop. And this is still one group. Okay. White hops, that's one group. We have one group. White has one group. We decide to go by one. Okay. And then white decides to go up here. Again, one group, 2 groups. It can be connected together. If white plays at E5, then these 2 groups are connected into one bigger group. Okay, same thing right here for the black group. If we connect at the F6, we've connected both of our, all 3 of our groups together. Okay. Okay. So again, black is completely separated from this black. Now we have 2 groups to worry about and that we have to defend. Okay. So now we have defense right here. And we have one massive black group. Okay. We're also keeping an eye on our liberties as well. So that's why we don't want to, at this moment, we don't want to just play here, because what happens if white plays here? Oh, wow. I'm in Atari. I got to extend. Okay, white's going to follow you. I got to extend again. White's going to keep following you. I got to extend one more time. Uh-oh, I'm still in Atari and capture. Okay. Keep an eye on your liberties. Again, this is why lesson 1 was all about liberties. Okay. So to prevent that from happening, that variation, I decide to connect completely. Now white has no opportunity to do that. And if anything, I can do the reverse to white now. Okay. So connect solid if you can. Again, is this the best move? No, it's not. But if you're starting out right now, which is the whole point of these lessons, do this first. Once you get familiar with the game, once you get comfortable with the game, then you can start experimenting. Okay. Okay. There we go. Sure. We decide to go a little bit more. We decided to be slightly greedy. And what happened? Well, we got a little too greedy. Okay. And we lost this little bit right here. We decide to take this bit right here, and they decided to save their 1 stone. Now, could I have taken this stone right now? No, I could not. Again, it won't let me. Okay, so right here, if I go back 1 and black tries to play, black cannot play. Why is that? Because this is a co. This is a special thing. Don't worry about it right now. I've talked about it last time. I kind of introduced the idea, and I'm kind of introducing the idea this time, but we're just starting. Don't worry about it. Okay. So I played elsewhere. Okay. They filled in the co. I decide to go down, trying to capture these stones right here because they only have 3 liberties left. But white decides to kind of start sharing the liberties in. Now, could I have done this? Yes or no? No, I couldn't. Why? Because these 2 stones are in Atari right now. Okay. If I decide to try to capture these stones, I didn't watch out for my liberties, and white takes. And then I lose those stones, and then this stone is now its own group. Okay. It's all by itself, and there's nothing that I can do to save this stone. Okay. There's nothing I can do. If I try to connect it by one, oh, look, white just takes both. So, hence why you saw me in the game. I connected back because I did not want to lose my 2 stones. It was an Atari. Okay. And then I just played a couple more moves here. Okay. Couple more moves here. And then decides to take and decides to completely capture. Now, why can white not take this group? Again, this is something that I'll probably say for next lesson. But just to introduce the idea right now, look what happens. So say that we filled out the rest of black's liberties and black only has 1, 2 liberty left at A9 and A7. Well, can white play inside? Again, white needs to have a space to inside. If white plays directly inside, it has no liberties. It's captured immediately. At A9, at A7, same concept. So this is when we have a situation like this, where a white stone cannot be in this little intersection point. This is what we call in Go an eye. Okay. Now, if you take a look at this whole group, there's a chance that I can never play in any of these spots. I can never play in these spots, period. This is what we call 2 eyes, or an invincible shape, because this black group can never get captured because we can never take away these 2 liberties, because white can never play here because it has no liberties once we play here and it gets captured immediately. If you look at this big black group, 1 eye is right here at F7. Okay. The other eye is right here. Even if we have the white stone, I cannot place my second white stone in here. This is a second eye already. Okay, so this black group already has 2 eyes. So white can never capture these stones. Okay, if that's confusing you, don't worry. Rewind. Forget that I even said eyes. It's just a thing that you will learn to kind of do as you're playing the game. Okay, and we can't do anything else. So everyone passes, and we pass, we're done. Okay. And if you look at the score, black lost by around 5 points. Okay. Now, I think that's it for today. That's all I really wanted to get done with, is understand groups. Count your groups. Try to have less groups. Okay. The less groups that you have, the more likely you're able to defend it better. For a 9x9 board, focus on that first. Once you're comfortable, then start making multiple groups and learning how to defend those. Just for starting out. Again, if you win, awesome. If you lose, that's okay too. Learn from your mistake. Keep going. Okay. You guys are doing great. Again, if these lessons are helping you guys out, shoot me a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, I'll see you guys in the 3rd lesson. Take care, everybody.